Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the Engine Builder Show. Today, Gabe will be talking about the 3 things he does on Fridays that helps him successfully run his business. Again, thank you, everybody, for tuning in and enjoy the show. Good morning, everybody.
There was always a ton to learn. Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Hope you get to catch this live. And if not, I appreciate you taking time to tune in. And regardless of what day you do catch it, I'm sure these things will be helpful to you. Just like Jethro said, I'm going to talk about 3 things that I do on Fridays that really help me successfully run my business. And I think the first thing before I get into the 3 things is it's really important and it's very powerful as entrepreneurs and as leaders to set an intention for our days and to be clear about what we want to accomplish and when, and just be really thoughtful and proactive in how we schedule our time. Because when we do that, we have the ability to consistently move forward instead of just allowing whatever comes our way to dictate how the day goes. If with a large team of, we have around 50 people on the team here, and with hundreds of clients and with lots going on, if I were just to allow whatever came up during the day, whether it's team members or clients reaching out, if I didn't have structure and process in my life and in my calendar, then I wouldn't be effectively serving my team or my clients or anybody that needs my help. And so I'd encourage you as well just to really look at being intentional with how you structure things and how you set up your days and your weeks and your time, because when you do that, you can be really effective and you actually can serve everyone more effectively than if you let outside factors, dictate and control what you do on a daily basis. So one of the 3 things that we do on Fridays, which is something we've been doing for quite a while now, a couple of years at least, is we do shout outs on our daily huddle in the morning on Fridays. And essentially, a friend of mine said, they have something where they say, we catch people being awesome. And that's exactly the intention behind what we do is on Wednesday and Thursday on our daily huddle, we say, hey, remember, if you have somebody that you want to give a shout out to on Friday, then reach out, and we put it on our slides that we use in our daily huddle. And then we just point out when somebody really excelled or did well with something, when they stepped in to solve a problem, when they, helped a client really deliver great results, or they, finished a great project. And just creating that culture of encouragement and really recognizing and catching people when they're being awesome and doing something productive has been really beneficial for us, because that kind of sets the tone and just really creates a culture where we're praising and rewarding and celebrating when we're doing well. And it's important in my experience to have that type of intention. Not only on a daily basis do we call those things out, but we really set aside a specific day for it as well, because then you can create that positivity and the focus on the things that you want to happen and what matters, instead of only, which I've seen and done wrong in the past myself, but definitely seen in organizations where they just are only calling out mistakes and failures and things like that. That can, if you only focus on those things, you actually bring about more of that. And you can also just discourage your team, and not something that I think is a good idea. So that's the first thing. We do shout outs. We catch people being awesome on Fridays on our daily huddle where the whole team is there, which is really awesome because we get to celebrate those things. The second thing that I do on Fridays is, generally speaking, there's exceptions to this once in a while, but generally speaking, almost all Fridays, I don't take any client meetings. And the reason for that is so that I can serve my clients more effectively, actually. And so I can serve our team well that delivers results to our clients. Because having a time where I don't have client calls, I can sit and think, I can work on a project if I need to, I can plan ahead for the next week. That creates the time and space for me to refresh, to reflect on, what's going well, to look at areas that can be improved, and to really be intentional about how I do show up for the clients that I get to serve personally, which is not a ton anymore. Fortunately, I have an amazing team that handles majority of the day-to-day client interaction and things like that. But there are some clients where there's a short time where I need to get involved and help with the project, or clients that I do business coaching for. There are clients that I'm grateful that I do get to interact with directly, but I, generally speaking, keep those off of Fridays because, again, that time to refresh, reflect, and just have strategic thinking time is really beneficial. And same thing here. I would encourage you to think about how can you create some sacred space for yourself? How can you block out time where you're not going to be in production mode or trying to serve a client or even trying to, help your team? Because if you just do that back to back to back all day long, all week long, and you don't give yourself time to sit and think and reflect and look at what's working or plan ahead or just evaluate things, it's easy to get caught in a cycle where you end up doing either meaningless things, which is kind of a neutral result, but actually is moving you backwards if you're not doing something meaningful, or you can even catch yourself doing something detrimental and you wouldn't be aware of that unless you blocked out time to sit and reflect and just take a pause. So not taking client calls and being really restrictive overall with my budget, or not my budget, my time budget on Fridays with my time and commitments has been really helpful. The third thing that we do on Fridays that is really, really effective and I've really enjoyed is we have a call called the IPI call. And so IPI stands for Internal Project Initiation. So we have an IPI call every Friday, and that allows us to do two things. The primary goal of why we created this intentional time together as a team is for me and the project managers and a couple other leaders on the team is we get together so that we can have a really smooth kickoff and transition process from when a project sells and it's from the sales team to how are we going to kick off and start implementing and start serving our client. So instead of just doing that over forms or just sending a video or doing other things that we do as well, we've realized that having that time to come together as a project team and get questions answered, just share additional information that maybe wasn't in a call or wasn't in a wasn't in a specific form or something like that. It helps us just create as smooth as possible transition from sales into production. We also take that time to answer other project questions or to do training sometimes or just to give feedback. But it's really just an hour a week where I can be aware of what's going on in projects if I need to give any coaching or input. And just as importantly, it's where our sales team, which is me and a couple other folks on the team now, we will be able to hand off a project to the production team and ensure that everything goes smoothly. So having that intentional, structured, and focused time means that I don't get a bunch of questions during the week. I don't get a bunch of emails. I don't get distracted during other time blocks that I have, but it's all focused into one call. And the other benefit that I really enjoy from it is on the occasion, I will get a question or, an email or something during the week. And I'll say, just put that on the IPI agenda and we will cover it then. So it allows me to collect everything into one place and be really efficient. If we allow ourselves as entrepreneurs, as leaders, and just managers really in any role to have you got a minute or can we get on a quick call or I have a quick question, if those stack up throughout your day and your week, then you just destroy your own productivity and you also take away the opportunity for your team to learn on their own before they come to you. Whereas with this process, with collecting everything, having a focused hour per week, it's super efficient. After doing it for a couple months, we don't even use the whole hour all the time. And it gives my team an opportunity to solve problems on their own before they come to that call, which just helps them learn and grow and helps us serve, others in the company and our clients more effectively. And so just to recap, the three things that I do on Fridays that really help me run the business successfully is we do shout outs, we catch our team being awesome, and we call out when they're doing well so that they know they can do more of that and just recognize their effort and their success. The second thing is I generally speaking don't take any client calls, and I'm really protective with my time so that I have longer blocks of strategic thinking time and time just to plan ahead, and even time some weeks just to decompress from a really busy week. And then the third thing is we have what we call the IPI call, which is our internal project initiation call, where we take any projects that have been sold, or we talk about anything that's ongoing that needs input. And we just, as a project management team and with other sales and creative folks on the call, we collaborate and make sure that calls initiate effectively and properly. And also existing projects are managed and we solve any problems. And so hope that's useful to you. That's how I run my Fridays. I would encourage you to really think and be strategic about how you set up your days, and definitely have a day that's more about strategic time. That's more about, not taking calls. It's more about just giving yourself space to breathe and think, because that's where some of the best work comes. And also when we create an intentional cycle of rest and planning and strategic time, the times we're busy and focused are going to be a lot more productive as well. So I appreciate you taking time to tune in today, and we will see you on the next show.